Well, if you take a look at this car, you know we've been working on this one. So, we had some parts come in. We are working on fixing up the radio stuff because wiring was cut up there and, well, stuff was removed in an incorrect way for unforesaid reasons. All right. So, that along with what's going on with these headlights, bulbs are bad, wires damaged, just poor install, poor attempt at stuff. It's just old, incorrect wiring and stuff on things. So I mean, this is pretty much going to be the wiring episode on this car. So let me show you what I got to do here. Basically, we have our headlights. We have wires apart here with incorrect sealed connectors. Man, we just got, where is it at? There's damaged wiring on here. On this other spot here where it was squished. Man, it's just, we got, look at it. Why? You got tape wrapped around stuff. This is a poor connection. Not the way to do stuff to make it last and have something that's going to be reliable. It's totally wrong. So we actually have a set of nice new headlights. These things here actually look pretty good. I think I might order another set of these depending on how they fit and go in. I also have some fancy smancy LEDs. There's a whole bunch of these. I think they were in the mid-20s. Headlights were around 100 and some. Like I said, they're 30, and until you add in some tax, about 130, 40 bucks in both headlights and some LEDs. All right. Now, also, if you remember from the previous video, we have this mess here, okay? Basically, what someone tried to do here at one time is they cut this harness off and tried to wire in a stereo, okay? So, hopefully I had the camera going the right direction. But anyway, they tried to wire in a stereo. This is not how you do this. Not one bit. No way, no how. That's nothing but agitation and frustration to try to make that work. Now, I have an OEM plug-in. Hopefully everything's the same. We're going to get that in, get it connected. We have a radio connection off of a brand new radio here, a new head unit. And we have the plug right here that's labeled to wire to that. That will plug directly into this, okay? We also have an antenna adapter. And we have our install plate kit to go on the front of this. What I'm going to use is these crimp / heat shrink connectors. These are going to be fine inside of a car. You could go as far as actually soldering every wire and heat shrink tubing it if you so desire. But I believe that this is going to be fine for a stereo installation. It's just we're going to be using a bunch of crimp connectors, or we'd be, man, look at that, count that up. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There's 13 wires there, and then you have all these here that are going to need connected. So, you're somewhere in the 20 plus wire range of soldering and heat shrink tubing some stuff. So that takes a lot of time to do it the right way. This is going to be pretty close. I have the correct crimper, and I will be heat shrinking them with a heat shrink tool so that everything is together. And all I'm going to do is put this one in, put this one on here, and all I got to do is then is plug everything in. So it shouldn't take too long to actually accomplish that. Like I said, we have that to finish up. We do have one of these here to put in, so we'll have a nice new bezel. Along with fixing that stuff, we have to fix wiring out here. That's all cut apart and taped together so that we can get our new headlights with our LED bulbs installed and working properly. So let's get this job started. All right, so 2 and 3, and you know, just kind of the deterioration that's down through some of these wires. I really had to cut off quite a bit, so I just cut that piece off. I got another used end that I had with nice wiring, and we have 3 new soldered wires here for our turn signal. I got to slide these up because they're soldered now, and put the heat shrink tube over top of them, and then I'll get on to fixing this. Got to find a nice end for that. Then we'll get the headlight done. Then we can actually get this headlight installed, and some more of the, put the loom back on, wrap some tape on it. But it'll be a solid sealed connection that will be working for years to come. All right, both new turn signal and headlight switch. There was just damage and moisture down in the wires. I didn't want to have to you know, let a problem for somebody else to deal with down the road, because that's kind of normally how stuff goes. So I'm actually getting ready to put the loom on these things, get them taped up. We're going to get the headlight installed and the LED, and we'll kind of do like a side-by-side. Yeah, and see how bright it is. Oh, LED. You know, we've got some sun over here, but we have HID. Which one looks better? Which one is actually projecting better light? I mean, you really can't tell on me, but that's your headlight. That's your headlight. It's just amazing. Both of the headlights are in. We only had to fix the turn signal plug end over here. The headlight was actually, the headlight plug was good. All the connections were good there. I did replace this one bolt. So, I mean, everything's bolted in good out here. If you take notice, I do have my heat gun sitting here. Basically, it's just a fancy hair dryer. Actually, it gets extremely warm. So, I used these crimp ends to get everything going here. And these will actually shrink down. So, I did take care of putting the adapter that you can buy to be able to plug into your factory harness that should be connected to your dash and not cut off. This would have been all we would have had to connect. So everything is crimped and heat shrinked with the temperature gun. I did leave this one out here because this does have an amp in here. I don't know what they have wired up as of yet, but this is ready to go. This will plug into the radio for the Dodge. This year, you do need this adapter. This end plugs into the radio, and this end plugs into the wiring. All right, now, this radio does have some extra features if you've seen in the video. Looks like it's a hands-free. It has a USB cord that you can route out through a certain way. So, now, I took a factory plug end. I cut off of a bad dash harness that I just pulled out of another car and fixed that whole entire dash with a good dash. So now we have this that needs to go into here. All right. And it looks as if someone at one time, like I said, they cut this off and someone had used crimp connectors to put these back together. So we're going to cross our fingers and double check everything here, and I haven't seen any difference in these as far as wire colors. So hopefully we can actually just, you know, crimp these together, shrink them down, have good quality connections, have another have the factory plug back onto our wiring. Other than having to get down in here, it's a little tough. This is part of the other adapter, I think, that was in here. There we go. So there we go. This one here was tore off, so that's definitely junk. And I guess they had wiring plugged in for an amp, and maybe a, yep, it looks like it had a hands-free mic up here. So hopefully this is still good. We'll just retain that. There's a couple other wires back in here. I'm not sure what they're for, so we'll have to determine them once we get these here fixed up. Okay, well, that definitely took some time. I have one more here I have to heat. What I ended up doing is I didn't run the heat gun in here. I just used a lighter and crimped one and then melted her together. Everything seems to be pretty decent. The only one I think I'm going to have to hook up will be from the radio, and that is for this one on Yeah, to turn the amp on that this car has in the back. And then we'll do a test here. We'll plug the radio in and see what happens. Well, we've got the radio to power up. We've got some great static. I don't have an antenna plugged in. I'm going to plug that in, and then I'm going to test for some sound. But I'm hearing static on every single one. So we have everything's plugged in here. I don't have the power wire hooked up for the amplifier that's in this car as of yet. So all we have to do now is install the mount that goes around here, get this thing screwed in, attach the RCA wires, the antenna, and get our remote wire hooked up correctly. And then we can actually have this radio installed into here. But successfully, we've repaired this, and now, well, the radio is going to work as it should. Everything was a simple plug-in. I didn't even have to, you know, I couldn't imagine trying to see which one's ground, which one's hot, which one's memory, which one's left speaker, right speaker, front, back. Yeah, there's just, you get these plugs, it just makes everything so much easier. So one more thing fixed on this SRT4, and one more thing's done. All right, just figured I'd show this thing off here. Since we have replaced our bezel, it was what we could find. This pocket, all the wiring, all our knobs, and there we go. Radio's up and working. Now they'll have to set all their presets. I'm gonna let this stuff on there, that way we can remove this stuff later. But there we go. That's all run. It had a Bluetooth speaker. Kind of just tucked it up here off to the side. I was hoping that the two-face tape was going to stick to the window, but I guess I'm going to have to clean that area up and then put some better tape than what was supplied. I mounted the mic for the wireless calling right up here. So that all seems to be working out all right. Had to fix it. Some of this other stuff was missing some screws. Center console's all screwed in nice, staying in place. And this car's shifting gears now. So on top of all the electrical stuff that we fixed up here, hopefully we're down to the end of this one. So good headlights in, they're working. Everything else is taken care of underneath this hood. Like I said, very minimal stuff needs done yet. Just checking out a couple more things, and this car is ready to go. I mean, it's ready to see some road miles, and that's definitely for sure there. So, all right, hopefully that helped you some, and hopefully this thing's done. So till the next one, guys, this RT4's off to be hurting some feelings.